Welcome to Champ Car's Bridgestone Pole Qualifying Show on Speed.
And welcome to the streets of Denver, Colorado. The Centrix Financial Champ Car Grand Prix of Denver about to unfold this weekend. Final round qualifying upcoming here today. Hello again, everyone. I'm Rick Benjamin. Jan Beekes is alongside. 2 rounds of qualifying. The weather has improved, but Jan, the big story, I think, this has been a Newman Haas racetrack the last couple of seasons. Friday qualifying didn't look much like that.
No, and especially when you talk about qualifying. Sebastian Bourdais certainly has been the master at qualifying. He's fast in the practice sessions, but I talked to them this morning, a crazy scenario. They say we're fast on used tires. We'll be fastest in the practice sessions, but the moment that we bolt on the brand new Bridgestones, we don't go quicker. Everyone else puts on the sticker tires. They go quicker. They think they're in trouble. They're scratching their head. What do we do?
Well, Paul Tracy is second in the season championship standings. He laid down a near-perfect lap to grab the provisional pole Friday. Yeah, and he was on the button all the way around.
He was, and he started. The timing line is just being crossed at that point, and you kind of got the feel right away that Paul Tracy knew this was a good one. Tracy, on the 2 most difficult corners on the racetrack as far as low grip, that's here on Aurora Parkway, he nailed them, and he knew right away watching the dash, he was way up on the splits. He just had to string the rest of the lap together.
Tracy very smooth here. He was on the edge, certainly, but unlike some other drivers who've come to grief this weekend through the streets of Denver, Tracy was able to be pretty smooth and fast all the way around.
And look, no traffic anywhere, no traffic in front, no traffic behind Paul Tracy. Again, watching the dash saying, man, coming into turn 9, that's a 180-mile-an-hour approach. The car was perfect in its driving style. The track is always slick on first day. Paul Tracy really put a good one together.
Now, he came by start-finish, but here at Denver, the final timing strip is not at the start-finish line.
Couple more to go, a little bit of rotating there, hard on the throttle, get the thing to turn. But like you said, just before the pit entrance, we're coming on it now, there's the end of his lap, sliding sideways.
Tracy with the car in a nice drift as he came across the stripe. 59.76 seconds, the best lap. 8 races complete. Here in Denver will be the 9th round of the 2005 Champ Car World Series Championship. Sebastian Bourdais with a lead of 27 points. Tracy gained 1 with that bonus point yesterday. Well, before we go green for final round qualifying, let's hear from Calvin Fish on pit road. Now, our Bridgestone passion for excellence. Downstairs to Calvin Fish.
Well, Rick, I'm here with the Executive Director for Bridgestone Motorsports, Al Spire. Now, we come to Denver once again, a very unique racetrack for the drivers and teams. The thin air means there's not a lot of downforce on the cars. What did Bridgestone do to try and compensate for that?
Well, yeah, we're a mile high here, so the thinner air means less downforce, but because of that, we brought our softest Bridgestone Potenza tire in our street tire lineup to Denver to try and get more grip, and that tire actually is so grippy, it's sticky, and it'll actually peel some of the paint off the pavement here, Calvin.
Well, that's a lot of grip, Rick. The boys are certainly going to be looking for on this very difficult street circuit.
The Bridgestone Potenza is performing very well. The car's getting ready to go green. Newman Haas has been the team to beat the last couple of years. This will be the 4th running of the Centrix Financial Champ Car Grand Prix of Denver on this circuit. We'll be right back.
No.
It's the Bridgestone Pole Qualifying Show, being brought to you today by Bridgestone. Passion for excellence. Bridgestone presents the Champ Car World Series, powered by Ford. Welcome to qualifying, final round qualifying for the Centrix Financial Champ Car Grand Prix of Denver. And Jan Sebastian Bourdais has really been chasing it all weekend.
He has, and he just turned off Aurora Parkway. We had mentioned that was the place that Paul Tracy had a perfect lap, and that is the section of concrete that people were really struggling getting some grip. And very interesting, Sebastian Bourdais, first driver out for qualifying. That's very uncharacteristic for his team.
He does like an open racetrack, though, Calvin.
He certainly does, and yesterday they did struggle with the grip in the race car and didn't go a lot quicker on new tires than they went in practice, but they didn't believe that this Denver racetrack would rubber in that quickly. And I think they went with a little softer race setup on the car yesterday, thinking that they'd be struggling for grip. The track came to them a lot quicker, so they were too soft. They've gone stiffer this morning, and obviously a lot quicker in that practice session this morning, Rick.
And he's been quick so far, Calvin. He has moved to the top of the board here, a 59.541. Now, yesterday, Tracy took the provisional pole of the new track record. That erases that track record, so Bourdais goes to the top of the chart.
And so much for them not being faster on new tires, but The track will certainly be faster today. Paul Tracy may wait and try and get some better timing, and man, Sebastian is using every inch of road. So a 59.5, not good enough for Sebastian.
Now it is cooler here today than yesterday. We've got an overcast sky situation. Yesterday's qualifying round run pretty much in the sun. Is that one of the factors that makes it a quicker racetrack?
Definitely. Cooler temperatures are the way to go as far as making more power. You get good grip. You wouldn't want it freezing cold, but these are almost ideal conditions for speed.
Yesterday it was in the low 80s here in Denver. Today, though, only in the middle 60s, and we expect the same for race day Sunday. Our coverage, of course, upcoming here on Speed. Tracy a 59.432. He's just put down a quicker lap here in second round qualifying. Bourdais second on the board. Front row starting spots and a bonus point in the championship standings up for grabs here today. And the pit straightaway. Bourdais loose.
He thought he would go for one more. I would assume that was fast.
One more time lap. Set yourself up if you want.
What they're doing is they're telling him his fuel load. And he knows already, I'm aborting that one. I went into turn 5 and lost all
Build
kinds
a
of
huge
time.
gap behind you, Seb. Huge gap. Build yourself a nice bit of room there.
Kenny Seawick doesn't know that he had that problem well, he may know it, but he's still going to be coaching him, telling him where he is with traffic. But I would expect that Sebastian Bourdais will have to hit pit road. If they said he had one more available, that means he doesn't have enough fuel to continue.
Of course, you get a 15-lap maximum run here in final round qualifying. Bourdais has used 6 of his laps so far. This is turn 1 here at Denver. Now Tracy. He has gone back to the top of the board. Tracy a 59.432. A new track record again today for Tracy in the Index Forsyth number 3.
Amazing. Paul Tracy, wow, he just, every time Sebastian put ones down, Paul Tracy answers immediately. It's just amazing to me that Paul Tracy can do it so quickly.
Tracy on the button now, heading down the back straightaway. Now his teammate Mario Dominguez was second quick yesterday. Dominguez very strong here. He's third quick in this session right now. 59.841 seconds. You see the speeds and the lap times at the top of your screen.
Now this will not be a quick one for Paul Tracy. He had trouble.
Oh, trouble for Rodolfo Levine in the Corona Beer 55. That is on the racetrack, not in a runoff area. Dominguez came right up on him and avoided him. That is coming out of turn 5 at the end of the pit straightaway.
Same place we've seen trouble, and that's just what I was talking about for Paul Tracy. He, like Sebastian Bourdais, had trouble in turn 5 and aborted the lap. He now will be starting another.
One more look. Here it is.
Nice turn in, but that is what people have been complaining about. Once you get the front to bite, the rear just doesn't seem to settle down in that turn number 5.
Looked as though he might have knocked a tiny piece of bodywork loose there. We saw something go flying, so it's possible that Levine has lost a little wicker of some sort off the rear wing of the 55 car. Just back on the tour. He returned at San Jose a couple of weeks ago with his Corona Beer backing out of Mexico. So this is Levine. He's tiptoeing at the moment, and here comes Bourdais, second right now. Bourdais in a situation where he could well start on the outside pole, but Tracy quickest again. Tracy gunning for a sweep of the bonus qualifying points today. Tracy off the gas. Here comes Oriol Serbia trying to set himself up for a fast lap. We'll be back. Hey, up next on Speed, coverage of the Centrix Financial Champ Car World Series Grand Prix of Denver, presented by Pacific Air. Sebastian Bourdais on a roll. He's won 2 straight, but Paul Tracy second in the championship certainly does not want to give up any more ground here this weekend. Count on close quarters racing in the Mile High City. The Centrix Financial Champ Car Grand Prix of Denver, presented by Pacific Air. It's up next live here on Speed. Paul Tracy on pit road, waiting out till the final moments of qualifying, but we've got a red flag right now with 11 minutes to go. One of the Team Aussie Vineyards cars, Team Australia cars, has gotten into the wall. That would be the 5 of Marcus Marshall. That's the 3rd trip into the fence for Marshall here this weekend.
On first day qualifying, he had 1 in practice, 1 in qualifying. The team was high-fiving each other this morning saying, we got through a practice session without hitting anything. But unfortunately, now this afternoon, same trouble for Marcus Marshall. He's just pushing too hard for his experience level in these cars.
Marshall, of course, from Australia. Veteran of the V8 supercars there. Now here's Sebastian Bourdais bringing the McDonald's 1 car onto pit road. Yeah, and he's finished, isn't he?
He is. He went out hoping that he could go out early.
We only have 1 lap left, so we can't do any time lapse. Go ahead and get out.
And you can hear the crew explain to him that they just ran out of time. And Sebastian Bourdais on the early strategy atypical for Newman Haas, couldn't get it done. So Paul Tracy hasn't even left pit road and knows that his closest challenger has got nothing left. He's burned all of his laps. Paul Tracy will have time if they go green again.
Now Tracy is the provisional pole sitter. He's quickest here today as well. He's lowered his track record time from Friday to a 59.432. That's Neil Mickelwright talking to Paul in the cockpit with the visor up. And we are under red flag conditions, about 9:40 to go in this qualifying session. Right now, Tracy and Bourdais would be on the front row, but Tracy would get both bonus points. Calvin, is Sebastian Bourdais disappointed?
Well, let's ask him. Sebastian, very solid first run. You went out there and it just didn't click together for you on that second run, it seemed.
No, the first run was disappointing. We did better on old tires in 15 minutes, so just can't make this car work on new tires apparently. So it's disappointing, but second run this was a disaster. You go early, you get screwed. You go late, you get screwed. So don't know what to do anymore.
How important is the pole here? You managed to come through from 13th with a knock on the first lap to win here last year. You can certainly pass on this racetrack, but is it the bonus points that disappoint you more today that Paul got?
Well, I mean, every little bit counts definitely, but I think the McDonald's cars had something for Paul today and just couldn't put it together. Certainly tomorrow it's not over, but it's going to be a lot harder. You know, when we came through the field last year, but you know, when things are rolling, it's just when you get stuck behind someone, I'm sure it's going to be really tough to pass PT. I have no doubt about that.
Okay, Sebastian, thank you. A lot of other cars now firing up, hoping to get another run here before we see the checkered flag, guys.
Now Paul Tracy has 7 laps still to use, about 8.5 minutes in the session, so he would need to come off pit road quickly, and we're not under green yet. This is Bourdais trying to knock off a flyer and steal the pole a little while ago, Jan.
And he said that, you know, you go early, you get screwed, you go late, you go screwed. But look, he had perfect timing. You can't say that anything didn't go his way other than the fact the car wouldn't turn there. You could see that he tried to make it to the apex, and that's exactly what he's complaining about. I put brand new tires on, I just lose overall grip.
This is Bourdais trying to throw down a fast lap just a few moments ago. He used up all of his 15-lap allotment on this set of tires, the second set of tires here, and leaves himself really with no more cards to play in second-round qualifying.
But what's interesting, he said we went faster on old tires in the practice. You don't have to put new tires on.
No.
I mean, why not leave the tires on and go out and try and qualify? It's the mentality that new tires are always faster, but for Bourdais, that is not the case. It does make you wonder, should they have stuck with those tires? Calvin?
Well, everybody off pit road now as we are green.
The only guy who's staying on pit road right now is the current pole sitter, Paul Tracy. Paul, you have a great run already in the bag there. Are you going to sit and wait, try and save tires for tomorrow's race?
Well, I'm a little worried. I mean, the only guy really that is a factor is Mario. And we don't want to give up the point for pole, but, you know, we also don't want to waste the tires, or, you know, we know we're ahead of Sebastian. And do you risk going and trying to do a lap? If you crash and cause a yellow, you lose your time. So, you know, we're going to sit here and see how the first few laps shakes out, see how the traffic is and how Mario's running, and then make the decision from there.
Okay, well, Paul's going to sit and wait. They have made a chassis adjustment here. He had a little bit of understeer on that first run. Front shock absorber and spring change if he does make another run, Rick.
Well, we'll see how it plays out, Calvin. 6:30 to go in this second round qualifying, setting the field for the Centrix Financial Champ Car Grand Prix of Denver, presented by Pacific Air. Back with more of the Bridgestone Pole Qualifying Show. He won the title with just one race victory in 04. He's within 2 points of the lead right now, heading into the Denver weekend. Don't miss Wind Tunnel with Dave Despain. His special guest is Tommy Archer. It's live tonight at 9 here on Speed. Watching the 3-car of Paul Tracy, the Forsyth Index machine out on the racetrack. Just a couple of moments ago, 5 minutes basically. He's got time for about, 4 or 5 laps, John.
But I think that during the break, Calvin had surmised that maybe Paul Tracy is going out just to get some heat into the tires in case he has to put one down. He certainly does not look like he's trying to put together anything here other than he's just on the racetrack trying to stay out of trouble. It's a very interesting strategy that Neil Mickelwright is playing. And Paul Tracy, how mature he has become, figuring out when you take risk and when don't.
Tracy coming off a very, very busy week coming up to Denver. Of course, he had that well-publicized Nextel Cup test with the Richard Childress team. Ran the short track at Concord, North Carolina earlier in the week, then went to the Speedway in Michigan, and now it appears that PT will not make his first Nextel Cup try next week at Michigan Speedway. He'll have to wait a while yet before he gets that opportunity. Oriol Serbia wheeling the Pacific Care number 2 in relief of the injured Bruno Junqueira. Down the backstretch toward 9. Serbia not just 8th on the board with 4 minutes to go. This is a car that started on the pole here. Bruno Junqueira very quick in that car a year ago.
And this is a guy who loves this racetrack. Oriol said, however, he's had push, meaning that he tries to turn in, just can't get the front bite that he's been looking for. But at least on this lap, can't say this is a full lap at anger, but it does appear as though it has been turning so far in the corners we've seen.
Serbia was on the podium here 1 year ago, finished 3rd driving for Dale Coyne in 2004. There's the car that Serbia used to drive, the AMR 19. This is Ronnie Bremer from Sweden, who took this ride over back several weeks ago. Bremer has really started to come on strong for Dale Coyne's team. AMR, the sponsor on both the Coyne cars this weekend. They're in their hometown of Denver, Colorado here. As we watch Serbia, Pacific Care 2. Centrix, the associate sponsor on the Newman Haas cars. Heading down the backstretch towards turn 9. About 3 minutes, 15 seconds to go in the second.
It'll be very interesting to watch the interval to behind him where there was a Forsyth Championship racing machine. I assume that'd be Mario Dominguez, another person that would certainly be a challenger for Paul Tracy.
Watching Serbia. Cal, what about Paul Tracy's strategy? He's got 4 laps left to burn.
Well, we just checked in with Neil Mickelwright to ask him that question about what they were doing out on the racetrack right now, and as we surmise, they just want to have tire temperature into those Bridgestone Potenzas in case someone lays one down. There's no point in sitting there with fresh tires and suddenly Dominguez lays one down with a minute to go. There's no way for Tracy to respond, so right now he'll circulate, he'll be kept informed by the team, and then he'll have hot tires if he needs to go.
Mario Dominguez 3rd quick in this session, 2nd yesterday. He was alongside Tracy, a 59.644 second effort. But Mario Dominguez is best so far, and he's got just 2 laps left to try to get it done.
And you hear Paul Tracy say, well, the only person who can really challenge me is Dominguez. I mean, they really do size up the competition.
Sure.
They know who has a shot. And Mario, he's been doing very quick laps, but he can't string it together like Paul Tracy. You'll see when he goes for it, he's like this. He's all over the place.
Big push there going into 9 at the end of that very fast backstretch, and he has backed off the gas.
But he only has a few corners to go to start another, so he's going to quickly reset. You see him take a tearaway off. A couple more corners, he'll be back at it. But when he's on a flyer, that thing slips and slides everywhere.
Now this will be Dominguez's probably final lap with 1:45 to go in qualifying. Might be able to start his second lap. He's posted now his 14th, so this is his last lap upcoming.
Nice start, though. Turn 4 is his second lap. He's already crashed. This morning he crashed right here in turn number 5. This is a really important one. You can hear the tire squeal of the Bridgestones. That's a nice start. So no traffic. We could have a shot here for Dominguez.
His 3rd right now. Tracy and Bourdais at the moment on the front row. The Champ Car Grand Prix of Denver upcoming in just a few moments here on Speed.
He's got no traffic. You hear the tires squeal in every single corner. But remember, last time he was on the brakes too late in turn number 9. He couldn't make the apex.
Got it. The timing line is not at the start-finish stripe. He has a couple more corners to finish up this lap. A minute to go in the session.
Get this lap.
Quiet, I'm trying to do a lap here.
He's pushing hard through turns 1 and 2.
Now they say beacon. That means get across the start-finish. Get across this timing line before you back off. Not enough.
Dominguez remains 3rd. That was a 59.682. About 4 thousandths off of his quick lap of the day, but A.J. Allmendinger moving to 4th ahead of Justin Wilson, and Jimmy Vasser sits 6th at the moment. Half a minute to go, and the red flag has been thrown because the 31 car of Ryan Hunter-Reay, the Rocket Sports machine, has slapped the tires. Hunter-Reay just 14th quick. And that will be the end of the qualifying session. Here's what happened to Hunter-Reay at turn 5.
Turns the car in, exact same scenario, but in the middle of the corner, he realizes that at this angle of drift, next stop is tires, and he wisely goes for the brakes.
J.D. Wilbur with the red and checkered flags in his hand, signaling the end of the session. Looked to me, as though Hunter-Reay might have turned in a little too quickly there in 5.
Well, no, I think the line was okay. I just think that the grip wasn't there. I think he turned it in. Certainly, the end result was that he turned too early, only because the car didn't have the kind of grip that he wanted.
Mario Dominguez stepping out of the car, talking to his Forsyth Index Championship Racing crew. Hunter Ray's trouble-filled season for Rocket Sports continuing here with that trip into the tire.
Now he's somewhat frustrated because he thinks he has a shot at the pole, but you know what? Starting third is better than second here, and that's a nice thing to start right behind your teammate, Paul Tracy.
So Mario Dominguez, Tracy rolls the 3-car into pit road. He will bag the bonus point for the second round of qualifying as well. It'll be Tracy and Bourdais on the front row, upcoming for the Centrix Financial Champ Car Grand Prix of Denver, presented by Pacific here. PT climbs out of the race car, and he will unstrap with the congratulations of his crew upcoming. So Paul Tracy bags both bonus points in qualifying here for the Champ Car Grand Prix of Denver. We will talk to him upcoming on Speed. Today's Bridgestone Pole Qualifying Show has been brought to you by Bridgestone, passion for excellence. Back in Denver at the Centrix Financial Champ Car Grand Prix of Denver, qualifying is complete. Paul Tracy sweeps qualifying Friday, and again in second round action in the middle of the weekend. Points leader Sebastian Bourdais disappointed. He'll start alongside Tracy, but Bourdais unable to lead either session and bag a bonus point. Paul Tracy sweeping Friday and Saturday rounds of qualifying. He's with Calvin Fish.
Paul Tracy, it looked like the perfect session for you, and the bonus point is critical in this championship chase.
Well, it was a little bit nerve-wracking. Obviously, our decision to go with Sebastian at the beginning of the session really was just, let's go head-to-head and see who can do the better time. And we came out of it with the better time. And then he went out early again, and we thought, there's no point in going out. We'll sit. We have 20 minutes to go. We'll sit and watch his run, see how he goes. And he wasn't able to better on his time. And then really our worry was Mario. I'd hate to sit in the pits and give away a point. And Mario was, he's got the same car as me, so he's quick here. He was capable of putting the time in. We went out and did another quick lap and held on to the pole.
All right, Paul, congratulations. If he can lead that lap tomorrow at the green flag, I'll be a 4,000th lap of leading in Champ Car competition, Rick.
Very impressive record for Tracy. Here's how they'll stack up. Any surprises, Jan?
I think that A.J. Allmendinger will be very pleased with fourth. They've been struggling this weekend.
Wilson, his teammate, will go fifth alongside Jimmy Vasser, who was surprisingly strong. Our Bridgestone Pole Award winners, Tracy now with his third of the season, joining Long Beach and Cleveland. And Paul Tracy will start from the #1 position here in Denver in just a couple of moments. That's the Bridgestone Pole Qualifying Show from Denver. John Beekus heads downstairs. Derek Daly joins me upcoming next here on Speed.
Race fans,